What if Deku had a Minecraft quirk? Part 16. Excuse me if my continuity issues are a little off, but for the most part, I re-looked at the last few ones, so I think I should be good. Let's go ahead and get into the first half where I talk about plugs and stuff. God underscores my Instagram. It should be down in the description on below. If y'all want to donate, my Cash App, PayPal is down below, and Streamlabs. So please, that does help me have food in my stomach, and that does help me have no problem making more content because I get paid for YouTube, but it's very minuscule, okay? And plus, I'm still just a baby channel right now, so yeah. Yeah, with that out of the way, let's talk about. Okay, all right. I had to do like 500 different things, but basically, we're gonna continue. Oh wait, no, all my plugs. Yeah, donuts are trying to help me out, help me put food in my stomach, help me be able to buy stuff. Because eventually, I'm gonna start doing a section where I'm talking about different mods and different vapes, and then we'll also get to the point where when I get enough money, we're also gonna do donations and shit like that. Because I really do want y'all to know that I fucks with y'all fucking with me, so we're gonna fucks with each other. None of that gay shit. Charles, if you're watching this, I'm talking to you. And Suspool. Okay. All right, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's get back into this, right? So, at the end of the last video or last part of this, by the way, if you're not caught up, you can go watch the movie, because there is a movie I made with all the parts and stuff together. So, you can go watch that, and that should get you caught up, okay? So, I did say we can either say the server shut down, right? That would technically in the story, or they could fight the energy, right? But we're gonna add something a little different to it. All right, so we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do a blend. We're going to make it to where they're all talking and like, damn, Charles thinks we're dead, right? And once again, Charles is stuck out in the boonies. But before we get to that, DK and James looks at Deku. So how did you get out of the inn, Deku? All right, flashback time. Don't worry, we're gonna actually continue with the main story, so this part might be a wee bit longer than the average. Okay, so what ended up happening is Deku talks about, right after DK left, the Gash Nash, the white blob of death. Hashtag the white blob of death. That baddie boy shot and said "Pshum" and destroyed the portal. So him and Charles, they just had bonding time and they were out there fighting. Cause technically, well, it's an update now, but back then when I was making the videos like 6 months ish back, give or take, it was back when this nigga was what was it called? Back when nobody when this update wasn't on console, but now the update's on console. So when you can live in the nether, like you can actually live there, board up and everything. So they eventually made a house. They were living good. They gained a couple of years, but nothing like big body or anything like that, right? So it was like nothing like too life shattering. So they pretty much just fought. Charles was teaching Deku everything he knew about fishing and how to fish, and you got to be patient. And Charles kept forgetting a lot of stuff, so that's actually what prolonged them staying and being there, because you know how Charles can be. And he kept talking about his horse jumping, and Charles and Deku was like, "Oh my god!" And so yeah, that happened. And then eventually, after them fighting different types of bosses and different types of flame demons of caliber, they are eventually able to get out successfully after making a portal, which Deku eventually just started writing things down so Charles doesn't forget. Even then, he almost forgot. He almost forgot to look at the notes. So there was a lot of frustration. So yeah, they came through and they came out the portal and saw a witch house, or not a witch house, a Whittler mansion burnt down and bruised. They basically took a similar path that DK did, just slightly altered. But they eventually came in and was hauling ass. And before they entered the fight, they drunk one of these rare potions that dropped. It was a power potion that gives you a special ability. Every user has a different ability. Deku was able to increase his capabilities around the 5% mark, and Charles was able to activate flame control, or pyrokinesis for those that do know. And the only reason they were able to actually get out was because they found one of the rarest drops, which is kind of useless if you come prepared, but it's beneficial if you don't come prepared. You're able to make a portal. Like, you just drink it and then you're able to literally just click. If in a game, you would be able to click or wave your hand and boof, a portal, and you're out this bitch. All right. So with that being said, that's what ended up happening. Charles drunk it, made a portal, and then they headed out. And then they were able to come help out, save the day. But it was not easy. They had many battles they had to fight and many things. So let's just like fast forward through all of that. After Deku get done with the story, James is like, "Wow, that's kind of tough." It's like, and DK was like, "Damn, yeah, bad. All right, so what we gonna do about our boy Charles? Like, we might want to get there and help him out." And he's like, "Wait, y'all didn't seem to age that much. Y'all aged a little bit, but not that much." Yeah, there's potions there too. And he's like, "What's up with all these potions?" Side note, real quick, the reason there's so many different types of potions is I'm adding a blend of if it was realistic, because I feel like there would be like different sections and different types of potions and shit if it was people were actually there. So they basically made like a mini hut and just combined all their efforts, which didn't take long because James has a plethora of resources. So they basically made a traveling system to their place and to James' place, and they just kept cooking up a plan. They're getting all their supplies together, and it took a couple, we could just say a couple in-game weeks, if not a couple in-game months. So after they getting all their supplies together, they say, "You know what? How are we gonna get back there?" And DK was like, "To get the real materials, we actually would have to go underwater, fight." And then they also had a mini flashback when Deku was talking about, "So that's what you were doing when you kept saying you're gonna go fish hunting?" Yeah, that's why we have all those tridents right now. I was going underwater very recklessly. Like, the second we got potions, DK was just going underground, underwater, breathing, just fighting, doing training, living like Larry. You hear me? So, with that being said, it was pretty much like that, okay? Now, if we get out to the point where they're just like, "All right, so we're gonna fuck up this Ender Dragon, and legend has it, if you beat the Ender Dragon, that'll give you access to the higher dimension." And everybody nodded and said, we see," because they know if they just go through the way DK had originally, or go through that method, they're not gonna be able to access the full capabilities of the world. It's almost gonna be like they're in a trance. Okay, so with that being said, they say, "You know what? We're gonna have to do this the hard way." They got all their supplies, and Jim said, "Now don't forget, I need help taking care of that thing." And Deku said, "Oh yeah, speaking of that, do any of y'all need one of these withered skeleton heads? Me and Charles found an unsettling amount of these. I don't know if Charles still has his with him, but yeah, somehow I was able to keep this. And I guess since I wasn't active." So James slurps that up with the quickness it says mines, and then, sends it back to his base. And after every bit of preparation was installed, they went to go fight this Ender Dragon. And James was like, "Oh, finally. I've been waiting for this since I got here." The fight was pretty much hard, strenuous, dragon breathing flames everywhere, everybody getting beat, but it was actually surprisingly easy in comparison to everything they've done up until this point. So they're feeling very good about themselves. They eventually take care of business, and they get the egg, and they're able to dip. And everyone's like, "All right, so we're good." Then they wait, and then a portal comes through, and they're like, "Yes." They jump out, dip out, and head back to the main base. And he's like, "You know how I got those electric lights?" He's like, "Oh yeah, that thing that allows you to fly?" He's like, "Yeah." There was an old timer. We call him Kangaroo. He was one of the first Avengers. That's where I got most of my information from notes and catalogs that he left behind, and also he left some damaged materials. But me being very resourceful, I was able to keep some of those resources and items he had. So he's like, all right, we're we're doing good. We're doing good. Let's get it. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave it off here, just so it's not too long and people don't want to stop watching. But if everyone does like and keep asking for the next part, I will immediately upload the next part.